to Archaeopolitics, a Harry Potter reread podcast focusing on politics in the wizarding world. As always, I am Adri, one of your hosts and a recovering English major. Helene can't make it today, but we've got a special guest who has filled in a time or 20 on the show. This is the one, the only, Seth Wilson. Welcome, Seth.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
Okay. Doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Okay. How's life been treating you since the last time that you were on the show?
Good.
He has to say that because he's married to me.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm married.
Anyhow, we're going to be talking about Chapter 7 of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is titled The Will of Albus Dumbledore. And this is the one where it's Harry's birthday, where he receives a book on dating, a watch, a new sneakoscope, and the Minister of Magic crashes in to give the trio some items Dumbledore left them on his will. Also, Harry and Ginny kiss, which Ron does not approve of.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
But before we get into this, let's talk about the news this week. There was an unsealed warrant on the whole Donald Trump case from the FBI. And it showed that the documents recovered included some nuclear secrets.
Yeah, which I really hope he didn't give to the Saudis.
Or, just anyone outside of the United States.
Yeah, but especially the Saudis, because that would be especially destabilizing. But
yeah, well, you know how Jared and the Saudis are allegedly besties.
Yeah.
So
I know.
I have to say allegedly, only just for legal reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. In Minecraft.
Okay.
If it's legal if you do it in Minecraft, not in the real world.
Not in the real world. All right, so let's get to it. Seth, for this episode, you chose our politic. What's our politic going to be today?
Secrecy.
Secrecy?
Yeah.
How do we define that?
I can't tell you.
Oh, that's great. Well played.
Yes.
I see what you did there. But elaborate, because this is a podcast.
Well, there's several kinds of secrets in this chapter. There's interpersonal secrets, there's sort of personal secrets, and then there's official secrets. And so there's all these different kinds of secrets coming into play and crashing against each other.
You mean there are layers of secrets?
Yes.
Like a cake?
Perhaps.
A snitch cake?
A snitch cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of layered secrets?
That's where you're going with it. I was thinking of lasagna.
Well, potato. There's a cake, a snitch cake in this chapter.
Which ties together better than lasagna.
I mean, there's not even an Italian in here.
No.
Come on, Seth. Get your mind in the game.
Yet another case of anti-Italian racism.
just the bounds.
Yeah.
In the series. All right. So we see it in the chapter. We have, like you said, a lot of layers of secrecy. We have interpersonal secrets, like Harry and Ginny's kiss. Raises eyebrows. Ooh. Or, the fact that Ron has a dating book that he's like, this is gold, so I am going to give it to Harry.
Yeah. Well, if he gives it to Harry, that gets Harry away from his sister because he doesn't want Harry dating his sister because Harry has to go into hiding. Yeah,
but also, if you're going into hiding, how is he going to be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use all these slick ass moves that I learned on this book. The other lady there is going to be Hermione, who Ron is using these secrets on. So why is he giving Harry the playbook? Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Ron.
Just Ron not thinking things through.
Yeah.
Yet another aspect of Ron not thinking things through. Anyhow, there's also official government secrets, which is what was the Minister of Magic had by law 30 days to look at these things. Fine. But what were they trying to get at, right?
Yeah.
Do they think that Dumbledore just left dark secrets? No,
Yeah.
they just wanted an upper hand,
Yeah. Can't trust the Ministry of Magic.
Can't trust the government, man.
No.
Anyway, that's the politics of secrecy. But let's get on to our quotes. What was the quote that you chose for our discussion today?
Let me pull out the book here.
Look at that. I hope you guys got audio of this beautiful book handling.
The rest of her speech was lost. Harry had gotten up and hugged her. He tried to put a lot of unsaid things into the hug, and perhaps she understood them because she patted his cheek clumsily when he released her. Then waved her hand in a slightly random way, causing half a pack of bacon to flop out of the frying pan onto the floor.
You know what's not good for spells? Secrets. Just kidding. I don't know. Emotional instability in general, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So why did you choose that quote?
Because it speaks to the nature of secrets between people. That there's this unspoken thing between Harry and Mrs. Weasley. Mrs. Weasley is trying to show affection, but it's not coming across quite. So there's all these sort of secrets and unspoken things happening in that hug.
All right. So a lot of secret, like things that people keep to themselves but try to show in other ways, and then a lot of being read in between the lines, perhaps. Yeah. Okay. Well, if I may share my quote, let me find it. And this one is on my phone, so you guys don't get to hear like the flapping of the book. But now Seth is doing it, so of course you're gonna hear it. Great job, Seth. All right. The thing is, whispered Hermione through the dark, we would have achieved that with Peruvian instant darkness powder. There was a small click, and the ball of light from the lamp flew back into the ceiling and illuminated them all once more. Still, it's cool, said Ron, a little defensively. And from what they said, Dumbledore invented it himself. I know, but surely he wouldn't have singled you out in his will just to help us turn out the lights. Do you think he knew the Ministry would confiscate his will and examine everything he'd left us? Asked Harry. Definitely, said Hermione. He couldn't tell us in his will why he was leaving us these things, but that doesn't explain why he couldn't have given us a hint when he was alive, asked Ron. Well, exactly, said Hermione, now flicking through the tales of Middledebard. If these things are important enough to pass on right under the nose of the Ministry, you'd think he'd have let us know why, unless he thought it was obvious? Thought wrong then, didn't he? Said Ron. All right, so the reason I chose this quote is because there's like acts of secrecy in which you're like, if you had just communicated better, this would be a non-issue, right? But like, maybe perhaps Dumbledore thought part of the joy in all of this was finding out for yourself.
Yeah.
Ever the teacher, that Dumbledore.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, he's obviously trying to keep stuff from the Ministry of Magic, who in themselves are probably a secret ministry of the British government.
I don't think that works that way.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it's the other way around. The like you're assuming that the British government has more power than the Ministry of Magic in the series. So it's the other way around.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, obviously because they're magical.
Gotcha. Yeah. You got there.
Yeah.
So so they're like the shadow government.
Okay.
If you think about it.
Okay.
That's how I view it. Our listeners might disagree, which we could get to in our social media. If you go to twitter.com, as the old say it, and the Instagram at Archaeopolitics.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was those were our quotes. Who did you think was like the character in the chapter that conveyed the most secrecy for you?
Dumbledore.
Because he's like, haha, bitches, I'm dead, and I'm
not
gonna speak on it.
Well, there's a whole movie called The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Well, but that's a different franchise.
Yeah. But Dumbledore's a very secretive person.
Well, yeah.
He has plans within plans within plans.
He's a nesting doll of secrets.
Yes. I think you call those matryoshkas.
Oh, there you go. I don't know the name.
Yeah.
Look at
I
you.
could be wrong, but I think that's what it's called.
You're probably right, because you are the champion of
Bar trivia,
whereas I am the champion of nothing.
Hmm,
Anyway,
that's not
for me,
true.
for me, the character was Ginny, because she was like, "Listen, I didn't know what else to get you, but here's like a secret between both of us, and I'm just gonna make out with you."
Yeah.
It's like a memory you're gonna take with you. It could be our little secret until
Yeah.
Ron just barges in.
Ron, Hermione.
Just ruining the moment.
Yeah, way to go, Ron.
Helene, I know you're listening, and you're like, yes, Ron ruins everything. And I'm here to say, well, not everything. Calm down, Helene.
Yeah, I like Ron.
Yeah, Helene doesn't like Ron.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, speaking of things that we like and we don't like, let's go into our Dementor and Chocolate section, where we talk about what we liked and didn't like in the chapter. Seth Wilson, what was your Ted Cruz or your Dementor in this chapter?
I didn't have one. I actually liked the entire chapter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was all good.
I mean, my Dementor in this chapter is the Minister of Magic, and how hoity-toity he is.
Yeah, he seems like a real piece of work.
Which, like, it's also a little bit like on the nose of portraying members of like certain political classes, right? Like, it's like, oh, you made this into like a real Ted Cruz, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real on the nose, Joe. Anyway, and what was your chocolate?
Harry and Ginny kissing was pretty nice.
Oh, that was so nice. That was my chocolate too. Oh, how romantic.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're that couple. We're so gross.
Well, so I think this is the first chapter I've ever read where something good happens to Harry.
Oh, the kiss?
Yeah.
Legit. Well, I mean, also Dumbledore being, leaving them stuff is nice.
Yeah,
I
which
guess.
is also nice, yeah.
It's Harry's birthday. There's a snitch cake. There's that whole moment where they embrace.
Yeah.
Mrs. Weasley.
Lots of good things happen to Harry.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty optimistic chapter for our boy Harry.
Yeah.
If only things could have stayed that way for longer.
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, every week we ask our listeners one question, and then we get some answers via the social channels, right?
Mm-hmm.
The social meds, if you will. And this last week, the question was the following. If you were joining the trio on their quest, what one item would you pack as a security blanket? And we got some answers, but before we get to those answers, Mr. Wilson, do you have an answer for that?
I always carry a pocket knife because you never know when you're going to need to open something. They're very handy to have. Also, I'm an Eagle Scout, so...
Look at you, just bragging on the show.
No, that's just why I carry a pocket knife. It's not any weird reason.
Oh, it's not like, oh, I am a murderer.
Yeah, no, it's just a Boy Scout be prepared thing.
Okay, because I was like, wow, Seth, that was a long time ago. Stop bragging.
Yeah, I've carried a pocket knife like every single day of my life since I was 8 years old.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
We can talk about that more later.
Okay.
Well, we have some answers. Blob.fishes _ on Instagram said, my dog, which I feel like it's pretty solid, because we have 3 chihuahuas, and those chihuahuas would alert us of anyone coming near us.
Yeah.
4 miles.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
Best little alarms.
I mean, obviously, we also take our child, hopefully.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I
all
know.
our children.
Yes. Try to keep the baby out of harm's way, I guess.
Yeah, but if we're on the run.
Yeah, we'd have to.
We'd have to.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Not ideal, though.
No.
All right. So Rock Climbing Girl 23 on Instagram said, my stuffed bunny and my pink blanket, both of which I've had forever. So
nice.
the literal definition of security blanket.
Yeah.
Love it. Astrid's 94's response, my pillow, which, I mean, practical. I don't want to like not sleep without a
Sleep
pillow.
is important.
Sleep is essential.
Yeah.
And Lopez.Desiree.M agrees with you. A knife.
A knife.
So I think that that's pretty standard, I guess.
They're just really handy. You can do lots of things with a knife.
So, okay, so you said you had it since you were 8.
Well, a series of pocket knives.
Well, I know. Like that's a good distinction. Thank you for making that. Was this perchance a coming of age gift?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us more about that.
I got my first pocket knife when I was 8, when I was a Cub Scout, and I got my little Whitlandship card that you have to get in Boy Scouts to be allowed to carry a knife.
Oh, so it's like knife safety and stuff like that
Yeah.
that you learn? Ooh. Speaking of gifts that are coming of age gifts, we have a question for our listeners.
Oh, do tell.
So this week we saw Harry go to this week we saw Harry go through his 17th birthday, and he got a few coming of age gifts, one of which was a dating book,
Yeah.
and the other one was a golden watch, right?
Yeah.
So if you, dear listener, were Harry's friend, what would you gift him for his 17th birthday?
That is a very good question.
And we don't have to answer it
No, we don't.
Next week is when we get the answers.
Yeah, that's up to you, dear listener.
All right. All right, so we just looked at how long we've been talking, and it's not been long enough at all.
No.
But there were some things I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Before we ended the show, we talked about the media we've been consuming, though.
Yeah.
And that is what this chapter reminds me of.
Yeah, what's that?
All right, so we decided that the chapter was about the politics of secrecy. But the other thing that happens in the chapter, and it's why it's titled The Will of Albus Dumbledore, and we talked about this a little bit, is that the items of the will of Albus Dumbledore are kind of unsealed in a way, right? We know what he leaves the trio, at least.
Yeah.
And there's some mention about like what else has been given to other people. This reminded me of the fact that, well, as you all know, or you may not know, I love gossip, celeb gossip. And one of the things I am constantly enthralled by is the royals, the British royals, right? The monarchy. Prince Philip's will is being sealed for 90 years. And it doesn't get more secret than that. Because, like, an entire generation.
That's two generations.
2 generations, sorry. Yeah.
Because a generation is supposed to be 35 years, I think.
Well, then almost 3 generations.
Yeah.
Will be gone before we get to know. I'm not going to get to know Seth.
Yeah.
I want to know the tea.
Yeah.
What's in that will that is so top secret?
He's a member of the Stonecutters.
What is that?
It's a secret society in Springfield that Homer Simpson belonged to. He was
like
their
the Masons?
Yeah, he was like their messiah. They had all the secrets. They knew about aliens and stuff. There's a cool song.
Listen, can we like turn it back onto the real world instead of the Simpsons? Right. I mean, I can derail it back to the Simpsons later, okay?
Okay.
We can derail a little bit. I just want to know, like, Livy is not even going to know. Like, if she's really, really lucky and she lives a really long and great life, she's going to know when she's, like, 89.
Yeah.
And by then, will she care?
No.
Like, I just have to, like...
Will anyone?
Yeah, well, that's the point, right? Like, that's why you keep it sealed. Yeah. Like, I just want to, like, will I have to raise her to be like, when you are about 88 years old or 89, this will get unsealed, and I need you to contact me via Ouija board and let me know.
Have a seance.
Have a seance because I fucking want to know what this will said.
It's probably just full of racisms.
Like what?
Because Prince Philip was pretty famously a fan of racial slurs.
Okay, yes, but also, are there any secret family members? You know what I mean?
Ah, like secret children he had?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because so why would you seal a will if it's not to like not let people know that, there's some situations going on that you don't want no one to know about? Or was it ill-gotten gains? Or is it all of the above?
Well, I mean, the whole concept of royalty is built on ill-gotten gains.
I mean, duh. Right. But like, is it like a will won't tell you the source of income?
It shouldn't, I don't think.
Yeah, so it would just tell you like what you're leaving and to whom, right?
Yeah.
So that makes me think
he left Charles his dashing good looks.
Those have wilted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And arguably were never there.
Yeah, Charles looks funny. Like a potato head.
I wouldn't say potato head, but go ahead.
No, that's all I got.
Yeah, okay. Anyhow, I just want all the secrets, guys.
Yeah. What are the secrets?
I wouldn't want anyone knowing anything, but also I have no secrets.
Yeah, we don't really have any secrets.
Between each other or the world. Like,
yeah.
I don't have secrets with the world. That's why that's why I have a podcast, so I can just like overshare.
Yeah. And I'm pretty open book, I think.
That's some bullshit, but okay.
Well, yeah. I mean,
You are pretty much like, oh yeah, I'm an open book, and then I'm like, yes, Seth, but I never knew this random fact about you. It was like, oh yeah, well, I never denied it.
Yeah, I just don't talk about myself a lot.
Yeah.
Is that being an open book?
That's not being an open book. Like, I am so quiet. I don't talk about myself or anything I like.
Well, okay then. I'm not an open book.
You're like a book one has to crack open with a sledgehammer. All right, so every time you're on the show, Seth.
Yeah.
You only read one chapter at a time, so you usually have a lot of questions.
Yeah, and I usually don't remember what happened in the movies very much.
Either, so.
Yeah.
What questions do you have for us today?
What are the purpose of the things that Dumbledore left?
Okay. So we've got the snitch, right?
Yeah. Which has something in it, if I recall.
Yes, it has the resurrection stone.
Oh.
Which is part of the 3 things that you have to complete the Deathly Hallows, right?
Okay.
So the Elder Wand, the Invisibility Cloak, and the Resurrection Stone.
Ah, I see.
So that's one of those things.
Okay.
The Tales of Beedle the Bard, which are in runes, are left to Hermione because she's the only one of the 3 who took runes in Hogwarts. And the Tales of Beedle the Bard have one tale in particular, which are the Tales of the Deathly Hallows.
Oh, okay.
Which, gives them the info of, what we're looking for are the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and I've got the Invisibility Cloak.
Okay.
Thing, right?
Okay.
And the Deluminator, I believe, it's been a while, when Ron kind of leaves them in a huff in the middle of like their camping situation because he has like a big, tantrum.
Uh-huh.
He's like clicking the Deluminator, and sometimes he can hear when they're talking about him, and that's how, like, by context, he can find them.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
who's getting married?
Oh, yeah. So the people getting married are Bill Weasley and Fleur Delacour.
And Bill's an older brother?
Yes.
Ah. And who's he getting married to?
Fleur Delacour.
Delacour. And who is she?
She's one of the Triwizard champions that we met in book 4.
Okay.
The Vila. The very beautiful French lady.
What is a Vila?
Okay. So Vila are magical beings, not creatures, so like humanoids, right? Who are very enchanting to the male population. So she's like, I think a hoarder Vila. I think her grandmother was Vila.
Okay.
So she's that French student from Beauxbatons. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. The wizard school in France. And she is devastatingly beautiful. Ah. And Bill is very handsome and cool.
Good for Bill.
Yeah, he works at Gringotts.
Ah.
And
that's the magical bank.
Magical bank. And he's like very rock and roll.
Cool. Good for him. Rock and roll banker.
Which is weird. Well, he's not a banker. He deals more with, I think, the security and like the dragons of it
okay.
all.
Okay.
Although Charlie does deal with dragons, full stop.
Okay. All right. That's all the questions I had.
All right. Any other questions that are not related to this chapter?
Who ate the last slice of pizza?
I did, dear listener. I did.
It's because I'd already eaten a lot of pizza.
You ate half the pizza.
Yeah, it was a small pizza.
Yeah, it's great. It was a great frozen pizza.
Yeah, it was great. I was very hungry. I skipped lunch.
Yeah. And you're a growing boy.
Yeah. And that's why I carry a pocket knife.
Because you never know when you're going to have pizza.
That's right.
Could you imagine like cutting up a pizza with a pocket knife? That looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, it'd be messy.
Doable.
Doable, which is the point.
But messy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to one of the more messy things in my life, which is the media that we've been consuming. Okay. Seth, in this wasteland of a world where maybe justice is being served, who knows?
Who knows?
Fingers crossed that it is being served soon to one Donald J. Trump and his cronies, right?
Yeah.
What has been keeping you afloat in the media?
I've only seen a quarter of the new movie Prey, which is about a young Comanche woman who has to fight the predator, but it's really good.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to finishing that.
And is that the predator as in
the predator from the movies,
the predator,
the monsters with the hunts that's like a hunter of other creatures.
Okay.
And you know what the most deadly prey is? The most dangerous game.
Not sure.
Humans.
Human. Okay. That's what Emmy tells me all the time.
Yeah.
Emmy, our smallest chihuahua.
Yeah. But biggest in heart.
Look, she is a brave, brave chihuahua.
She is.
We also watched episode 1 of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Attorney at Law.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed it.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
We watched it with Livy.
Yeah.
She seemed to like it.
Yeah.
She didn't cry once.
She didn't cry,
this
which
is how
good.
We know she liked it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I have been watching is a small show created by one Dick Wolf, or as I call it, 3 writers under a trench coat. FBI International. Which is a spinoff of their FBI show.
I see.
That I have already finished on Paramount Plus. That's where I'm streaming it. I'm pretty sure it's on NBC.
I didn't know we had that.
Yeah, we have Paramount Plus.
Oh, cool.
It's on our Prime subscription.
Ah, nice.
So we also have a PBS under our Prime subscription.
Oh, good.
Listeners,
I wonder if I could watch Voyage of the Mimi on PBS.
Not sure.
Starring young Ben Affleck.
Well, listeners, now you know that we have a lot of subscriptions my husband doesn't know about.
Secrets.
Is secrets. Another secret subscription that you may not know about under our Prime is Stars.
Oh, yeah, I knew about that one.
Okay, so you know about that one because of Outlander. Yeah. My boy Jamie.
Yeah.
In Outlander. Forever in our hearts. Anyway, this FBI International, I was like, what's this dumb show? It's going to be like, what? Oh, I'm going to create the CIA? Like, what the fuck? Apparently, it's like there's an FBI unit that helps whenever there's like cases of American citizens abroad.
Huh.
And that's what FBI International is about. And they are based in Budapest.
Budapest. Nice.
So that's kind of where like, I'm like, is there going to be a crossover episode between that and 90 Day Fiancé the other day?
The other way.
Because that'd be great.
That would be great.
That would be great. A lot of them end up in Budapest for some reason. If the last season was any indication.
I see.
A few of them ended up in Budapest.
Huh.
Alina and what's his face?
No, that was Turkey.
Was that Turkey? Oh. Do they all end up in Turkey?
Yeah, they go to Turkey because Turkey has
See, and I'm so racist. I'm like, yeah, that's Budapest, right? Ooh, I'm horrible.
Yeah, no, it's because Turkey has more lax border controls over COVID, I think.
Oh, that's right. See, I don't remember anything that happened last time. It was over 6 months ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
What is time anyway?
What is time? It's a secret.
A flat circle is what it is.
Yeah, that too.
Speaking of flat circles, we are over the half hour mark.
Okay, nice.
Which may not translate into half an hour.
Yeah, no, there's a couple minutes of lollygagging in there.
Terrible minutes.
I know.
What else have we been watching? I think it's been that. Also, I rediscovered SimCity from 2013.
Oh, nice. Nice.
It's been interesting to build cities again. I will probably be very obsessed with it for like 2 weeks and then forget about it for another 2 years.
That happens.
What games are you I mean, I know you're not doing anything right now, but if you rediscovered them, you'd probably just give it 2 more weeks.
I'd probably go back to Red Dead Redemption 1, which I seem to enjoy more than Part 2 for some reason.
What was Part 1 and what's the difference between Part 1 and Part 2?
Part 1 takes place after Part 2. Because that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Well, actually it does, but...
Wait, which was the one that I made the avatar for you for?
That was Part 2.
Part 2?
Yeah.
The one that looked a lot like you?
The one that looked a lot like me, but with long hair.
Yeah. Can I do that for Part 1?
No.
It's the only part I enjoy.
It was Red Dead Online, which is Red Dead dead. Nothing's going on online. They stopped supporting it, releasing new content for it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Animal Crossing a little bit.
Yeah.
New Horizons.
New Horizons.
I want more content.
More content.
I'm kind of like, yeah, I've done most of the things. The only thing I haven't done is caught all the bugs or whatever, but like...
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got bored pretty quickly with Animal Crossing.
Is it because it was like doing chores at home?
There was a lot of chores to be done, yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. But we got to get Livy on it so she learns the importance of doing chores.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then she's going to be like, oh, Dad, you're like the owl. You just go on and on and on about a historical artifact that I don't care about.
And I'll say, go catch more bugs.
Go get me more fossils.
Yeah.
Little Livy.
Livy, go get me some fossils, please.
All right. Well, that's it for today's episode. For real this time. Join us next time as we talk about Chapter 8, Número 8, of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And this one is titled The Wedding. The one that you had questions about.
Yeah.
Beth.
Yeah. So I know what happens now.
Well, do you though? Do you?
No. No one really knows what happens.
Those of us who read the book.
The future is unknowable.
Okay. Cool. Cool story, bro. As always, if you enjoyed this conversation, please take a second to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast or wherever you're listening right now. Why? Why would you have to do that, dear listener? You might ask yourself. It's because it helps new listeners discover the podcast and makes all of us, and by all of us, I mean your co-hosts and sometimes our guest hosts, I hope, all happy and fuzzy inside. But until then, politics managed. Support this show by going to patreon.com/Occhiopolitics. Our patrons keep this show going. You can find us online at Occhiopolitics.com, and we are at Occhiopolitics on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can email us your thoughts at info@Occhiopolitics.com. Leave us a voicemail at 915-996-1699. And you might just hear yourself on the podcast. Adriana Wilson is the founder and creative director of the podcast. Helene Karp is the producer and social media manager. Allison Pullman is the audio wizard and editor who makes us sound so good. Cover art and physical rewards are designed by Adriana Wilson. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are expressly their own and not representative of their employers or associates. Ocupolitics is part of the MuggleNet family of podcasts.